This is exactly what we all want to see. This is the type of story that we hope for those who serve time behind bars. A former gang member turned father, husband, businessman, and motivational speaker. Coming out of prison, who lands on their feet this well? On the outside, Charmaine Goins was the picture-perfect redemption story. Unfortunately, many people struggle with demons. Some demons keep people addicted to drugs or drinking alcohol. Some get involved and addicted with gambling or with spending. Charmaine, he loved him some women. On the outside, people saw a man who young people could look up to. But Charmaine cares about his image, and he was willing to do anything to keep people from knowing his dark secrets. It's early in the morning on October the 8th, 2014. A couple is walking their dog in Deshawn Park in Gwinnett County, Georgia. They see the body of a woman and call the police. The woman is 26-year-old Lauren Taylor. She has been strangled and her body is partially burned. Lauren Taylor's phone records would show our guy, Charmaine Goins, to be one of the last people to contact her. Detectives meet up with him at a gas station and have a short discussion about his whereabouts and his interactions with Taylor on the day in question. Goins tells detectives that he dropped off Taylor at a mall in Chattanooga, Tennessee around noon. Then he returned to his home in Tunnel Hill, Georgia. He then tells them that he leaves that night to help his friend Carl Wyatt, who is stranded in his truck. The police don't believe him, so they bring him in for another interview.
Again, this is some things that came up, and obviously, since you knew the young lady and you were with her there the last day, you're the main source we got to talk to figure out what's going on and go from there. Okay?
Am I the main source?
Right. Well, you were. The problem is that the last person who dealt with her and talked to her, and you know her better than, probably next to her family. I mean, I don't know who else she knows pretty well. And since y'all were, I guess, friends and y'all were intimate and stuff like that, you know her probably better than anybody else. So, but there's some things that I guess Detective Boyd came up with. If you have a seat, Detective Boyd can sit here and I'll sit over here.
How you been doing?
Trying to be good. Trying to be good. I gave you a few calls. I don't know if you.
Well, we've been working, like I told you, we've been working some other cases.
Yeah.
So, basically, obviously trying to follow up because we haven't really had a whole lot of other stuff come up in this. So, follow up with you, see if you can give us any insight in anything. Explain to you a little bit of what we've developed, and obviously I have a little more questions for you, but anything else that you've thought of that maybe you didn't tell me at the time, or?
Not that I didn't think of.
Now, if you remember in the opening, I talked about the fact that Charmaine is addicted to women. This story that he's about to tell, absolutely insane. I'm going to let him tell it, and then I'm going to weigh in on it in just a second. Check this out.
So, after we talked, I got Facebook by her mom.
Okay.
And by her sister.
Okay.
And asked me some questions. Shortly after, her sister asked me to meet with her. And I was really hesitant, nervous. I said, well, I don't know if that's a good idea, but I didn't want not to go meet her because,
right.
She got questions. I want to be able to answer those questions. Rumors around Dalton is that you guys are saying that I'm primary suspect and that about to lock me up, and this is all going around Dalton. The family just
Who's telling you that?
The family is telling people that. People just.
I can't control what they said. I don't even think we've been to Dalton to talk to anybody. We talked to you and we talked to the family when they were given the death notification of the daughter, and we talked to your wife. I don't know who else. I know he came up here and talked to a guy named Carl.
Yeah, the family said that the family was saying that that he had messed with a lot of that you guys said to them that I had messed with a lot of women, and yeah, I mean this is stuff I'm like, how did they wouldn't know that? I mean, I know you guys have my phone records, and I'm like, and I just want to say this one thing. I did mess with a lot of women.
Right.
It's your business. That's something you did, and that's fine.
But a killer, wrong person.
Okay.
So this is what happened. So the girl, she called me. She Facebooked me, asked me to meet with her. I did. Asked me a lot of questions. She said that she was a twin, and she just wanted to talk to me, just look at me with my face and see, you know. She put her hand on my heart, and she said, "You nervous?" I said, "Yeah, I'm nervous." You know, I didn't know if it was just a setup, or I didn't know what was going on. And so after that, she wanted to meet again. She really didn't want to meet. She wanted to be intimate.
She wanted to be intimate with you?
Yeah, she came on to me. Mr. Dummy, I fell for it.
This is her twin sister.
Twin sister.
That's the one we met at the house?
Yeah. Yeah, the twin sister.
Brittany.
Right.
Brittany.
Okay.
Yeah, so we was intimate. I said after a while I said I can't do this.
Okay.
She went ballistic. Called my wife. Told my wife that you might as well leave him alone because he's gonna be with me. She threatened me.
This is all after the young lady's dead.
Yeah.
Now that's wild. So the girl he was messing with, she's dead. She has a twin sister. The twin sister starts to reach out to him. He ends up sleeping with the twin sister. My man's wild.
Okay.
And threatened me and said, you know, you're gonna be with me. And she said, if you don't, then I'm going public. I'm gonna say that you're a suspect. And I'm like, why would you do all that? I mean, you're looking for the person who did it to your sister. Why you at me like this? I got messages on my phone. I had talked to a friend here, and they said just keep all that. But it just really just made me suspicious of. I don't know.
When did this happen? When you went to meet with them? What day was this? I know. Maybe you can use the day Detective Boyd came and meet you at the gas station.
Yeah, this
was
after
this
that.
A month or two after? Or how long after?
This is probably 2 weeks afterwards.
Okay. She has called you out of the blue.
Yeah, she Facebooked me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was actually, I tell you when the first time she Facebooked me, I was out of town when y'all came to my house.
Okay.
I was out of town, and this might have been the first week I was out of town. The second week, maybe the first week I was out of town, and she just been really just like, you're gonna be with me. And I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm like, and the more I thought about it, I'm like, if I'm a suspect in your sister's murder, why would you want to be with me?
Makes sense to me.
And I don't know.
And if she went and told your wife, how long after? Did she actually called her or went to the house?
No, she called her.
How'd you get your wife's number?
I think she said that she got it off my phone. But I don't know how, because my phone has a lock on it. I mean, maybe she did, I don't know. But I was intimate with her. I mean,
where did you go meet with her, Charmaine? At her house or?
At her apartment.
And I know when I met her, she was at her mom's house.
Right.
So I don't know if she lives there or if she visits there.
No, she lives here in Chapman.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying I'm not trying to.
Well, that's strange in itself. I'll tell you right now, that's very strange to me. It's just that behavior is completely out of left field, the way I look at it. So we are just intimate one time, I guess?
Yeah, we was on an intimate once. But, I mean, I spent time with her. I mean, and it felt good to be able to talk to her because I really can't talk to my wife about the situation that this young lady who I was intimate with did. And
sure.
So I had nobody really to talk to about it.
Okay.
So it felt good to be able to just talk to her about it. And I wanted her to know, it's the only contact with her family, that I was good to Lauren. I wouldn't hurt her.
Okay.
And I said, you know this. You seen me around her. I would never hurt her. And she was like...
She kind of believed you, felt, okay. So I know you said you talked to her a few times, how many times did y'all maybe kind of hang out? Maybe had a cup of coffee, just chilling out?
Yeah, we did that after that for about 3 weeks strong.
Okay. And then before, I guess, it led to being intimate with her?
Yeah, we was intimate one time.
Okay. After you were intimate, y'all kind of went out on a couple more dates and just hung out?
Just kind of talked.
Okay. So was it just like lunch, dinner, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Movies, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all were kind of hanging out like you were kind of dating and stuff, and then one time you were intimate at her apartment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess when you felt, and correct me if I'm wrong, uneasy, you try to just say, you know, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
And then she went a little crazy on you?
Yeah.
What was your wife saying about this?
Well, my wife was just like, you know, I mean, really her sister. And the truth is, I'm really trying to clean. I don't want to mess with no more of these women. I think me being in prison for so long, coming home, and I got I don't know why I do it, but I don't want to do it anymore. And I was telling them, that's why I've been working on this. Been working on it, man.
And Detective Boyd's been looking at this. Obviously, how long you were locked up, Charmaine?
15 years.
15 years. Okay. So obviously when you get out, and as you said yourself, you've been with several females.
Yeah, and it didn't start right off when I first got out. I mean, it was
a little while.
2014 has been crazy.
Okay.
With the females. So
obviously, females either find you attractive, they want to hang out with you. You've been locked up for 15 years, obviously, been by yourself, so I guess you took advantage of those situations because you felt, I guess, you know, being by yourself for so long.
I can't even explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the situation with you and your wife? Obviously, it probably got a little worse.
No, well, we're probably better than I mean, last night we really made it. It's funny that you guys up here today.
Sure.
When last night we really, you know, made leeway, you know, with
trying to move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess Lauren's sister is the last person you've been with?
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you've been with several females. We're talking about 4, 5, 10, 20?
Sexually probably 5.
5. Okay.
Now I've talked to other females, but sexually probably 5.
Okay. That was since you got out of jail?
Yeah.
Okay. And the only one else you've been with sexually after Lauren has been her sister?
Yeah.
Okay. And your wife only knows about Lauren?
No, she knows about all 5.
All of them? Oh.
I needed to come clean. I was like, listen, if I'm going to move forward.
I understand.
I don't want, you know.
Okay.
Okay, I have to interrupt here just so you can understand what's going on. From this moment forward, we're not talking about the twin sister who he slept with after Lauren's death. We're talking about Lauren. A lot of these things are going to sound familiar. She was going to tell his wife. She wanted to get picked up, wanted his attention. But we're not talking about the sister that's alive. We're talking about the deceased one now.
I know, and I don't know how much you recall in reference to the conversation you had with Detective Boyd when you talked to you the first time. I want to go over a few things because obviously there were some things that came up in his investigation. Okay. When you said the day that I think she was being a little fussy and she was texting you, and she had mentioned something about telling your wife or something. Mm-hmm. Is it that's still correct, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you went somewhere to pick her up.
No.
No? Tell me about that day, if you can.
That was the same day.
Okay. So she did it. When did you go pick her up? How many days afterwards?
Maybe 3.
3 days? Okay. So 3 days earlier, she had texted you, and she was being kind of rude and kind of telling, I'm going to tell your wife that you and I have been sexually involved. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then when you went to pick her up, is that because she asked you to come, or you felt you needed to go over there and kind of squash whatever was going on?
She asked me to come. She called pretty upset, and she was in riding the phone. She was like, "Can you please come pick me up?"
Okay. And go from there. Just go over the story again. I just want to, and then we'll go into a couple of things that he needs to ask you.
Yeah. So she's like, "Can you please come pick me up?" I told her that I was really busy that day and that I really couldn't. But the way that she sounded after I said that, she was like, "No, I need you to come pick me up." Lauren was really crazy in some ways, but you can tell that she was really upset about something. So I told her I don't have a lot of time, but I will. So I wouldn't pick her up.
Okay.
One thing about Lauren is that she often made threats. Often, she'll blow somebody up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think she would be good on a threat about telling your wife? You don't think so? Okay, go ahead.
Maybe she would, but I don't think so.
All right.
So then after that, I went down, I picked her up. She wanted to stop and try to pawn a guitar.
Okay, yeah, that's a guitar that I think some white guy she was dating or living with.
I don't know where it came from.
Okay.
Yeah, so
when you picked her up, what time of day was this? You recall? I know it's been a little while now. At Rising Fawn, correct? Still daylight, I'm assuming?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you think it was morning or afternoon?
No, it was definitely about 1.
Okay.
Something like that, 1, 2.
All right. What were you driving when you picked her up?
What was I driving?
Yes, sir.
My Expedition.
Okay. Is that black one were you in that when we saw you the first time? The gas station?
I don't know what was.
I think it was black, I'm not sure. All right, so you were in your black Expedition.
Yeah.
All right. So you picked her up, and I guess she was still fussing at you in the car?
No.
No? She was pretty straight?
Yeah, she was calm. She wasn't, not at me, she wasn't fussing at me.
Okay. What happened then?
She just wanted to get away from Rising Fawn.
Okay.
And she said something about that. They got to arguing, and she just wanted to get away from here.
Okay.
And so I told her that I didn't have a lot of time, and she said, listen, I said, well, I don't have a lot of time. She wanted to kind of be with me today, and I couldn't. And so I said, I'll drop you off somewhere.
Okay.
I said, you want to go? I asked her, do you want to go to sisters? That ticked her off. She was like, don't ever, no.
Her and her sister didn't get along too well, you think?
They did, they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love-hate there.
Yeah, I know that they would be together sometimes, and sometimes they would, she couldn't stand her sister. But then they'll be together again, and, I know she had, I'm Not Britney tattooed on her.
Yeah.
So then.
Did you go somewhere to get rid of the guitars? I think she wanted to take it somewhere. Or?
Yeah, we stopped at a place, but she went in, and I don't think she didn't get rid of it.
Okay, was she trying to sell it? I guess get a couple of bucks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if she didn't sell it, then where'd y'all go from there? Do you remember where this place was at, off the top of your head?
I don't. I just know it was in Rising Fawn.
Is it like a pawn shop, you
Yeah.
think? Okay. All right. Then where'd you go from there?
We drove back to Chattanooga.
Okay.
Yep, and then that's when I dropped off.
Is that mall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did she have a lot of stuff with her?
Yeah, she did. She had all of her bags. She had 2 guitars actually.
Okay.
But one of them she said that I could have for gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So she left one with you.
Yeah, it was broken. It wasn't.
Okay. Did you sell it and get some gas money, or?
I did.
Okay. You sent it to a pawn shop, or just
Yeah.
somebody?
I sold it to a pawn.
Okay. You remember what pawn shop was that?
It's on Rossville Boulevard. I know the name of it.
Roswell.
Rossville Boulevard.
Okay. Does it have a name, or is it just pawn shop? I don't know. Most places just say pawn.
Pawn, Easy Pawn, or Pawn, something like that. Yeah.
That was in Chattanooga. Okay.
And I didn't pawn it that day.
Okay. How many days afterwards?
That day I was really busy, so I think it was the next day or the day after.
Okay. How much you get for it?
$30.
All right.
Cause I said it was broken.
All right. What color was that pawn? Do you recall the guitar? Anything about it stands out to you?
Not really.
Okay. All right. And then that day, let's go back to the day you dropped off. You dropped her off. You said she had 2 guitars. She left them with you.
She left one.
One with you, and she took the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recall what she was wearing that day? I know it's been a while.
Did she have? No, I'm sorry.
While Charmaine's thinking about what he's going to say, Let's take that first commercial break real quick. Have you noticed that I don't have ads playing every 4 to 5 minutes throughout my videos, effectively ruining your viewing experience? Well, I did it for you. I moved my ads into 2 separate commercial breaks, one in the middle of the video and one near the end. This should effectively give you extremely long periods of ad-free crime action. If you want to reward me for trying to give you a better viewing experience, you could do so by watching the complete video until the end. Thanks, friends.
No, she said she had 2 guitars.
Okay.
She had one that day.
Okay. She already had left with, but she did, it's
Yeah.
correct, she did leave one with you at some point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so that day she gets out your car, she has some bags or luggage and one of her guitars, she leaves your expedition, correct?
Right.
Alright. Then she walks towards the mall or away from the mall, or do you recall?
I didn't really give a lot of time for her to walk. She's just right there with her clothes, with her stuff.
Okay. Then what'd you do, sir?
I left. I had to go back to Ringo. My son had a doctor's appointment.
Okay. You recall just the time on that? It was, I'm assuming it's daylight?
Absolutely.
Early afternoon, late afternoon?
Probably 3 o'clock.
Okay, and I'm not going to hold you to the exact time, it's just a general time. And then,
I didn't talk to her no more.
okay, she didn't text you no more, she didn't call you no more. Were y'all still good at the time, your relationship with her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you didn't talk to her the rest of the day?
No.
How about the following day? Did you try to call her, or did she try to call you, or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
And we would do that sometimes. I mean, we would go 2-3 days without talking.
Okay. And then, did you find out she had died on the news, or did somebody come tell you?
I think I seen it first on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
I think. And then, as you already know, Judge Gomez, so we talked about it too.
Okay. All right. Now, you had, and correct me if I'm wrong, I guess when Detective Boyd initially talked to you at the gas station a little while back, I think I had asked you about going to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And you had mentioned that you were in Atlanta back maybe in the summer, June, July, during the World Cup.
No, I didn't, not the World Cup.
Is it soccer, or
No.
what was it?
It's football, wasn't it?
Was it football?
My son football camp.
Oh, okay.
So my son went to a couple of football camps down there.
And that was in June or July?
Maybe June, July. No, he had some even after that because he went to the Eric Berry Invitational twice.
Okay.
He went to Georgia State. I don't know all the times or dates.
Sure.
But he did go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I had asked you about October specifically. If you have been to Atlanta anywhere in October, your reply was no.
Yeah.
Okay. The phone, Detective Boyd, at the time, I think you got another phone number right now. At the time, the phone that he had or you had, who else borrows that phone from you? I think when we talked before, you said you kind of keep the phone to you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody borrows. So nobody's borrowed. You don't let people like, here you go, man. You can borrow my phone for 2 or 3 days.
Oh no.
Okay. If you let somebody make a phone call, that may happen, but you're not going to give me the phone so I can have it for most of the day or all night.
No.
So the phone stays with you.
Yes, sir.
So more likely where the phone's at, you're at.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. Now I know when I asked you, when I talked to you at the gas station, you had told me that I haven't been in Atlanta in October, and I think I asked you about the Shawn Park.
Mm-hmm.
And you, based on that name, you wasn't familiar with the park. Are you still saying, I just want to be clear, the month of October of this year, 2014, you recall being in Atlanta?
I don't recall being in Atlanta. I don't
Okay.
recall. Like I said,
So when I asked you before, you said, no, I was not in Atlanta. And then I asked you about your phone, and you said, nobody borrows my phone, so the phone stays with me. So I was trying to figure out, would there be a reason for you to be in Atlanta? And you said non-October. You made mention of June or July, somewhere around. You came to Atlanta for other business, but in October, you know that I don't recall being in Atlanta at all.
I don't recall being. Like I said, I don't know time, dates, or whatever. I do go to Atlanta, you know, but like I was in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. So your brother, I know you have a brother in Atlanta.
I do. And I've gone out down there and hung out with my brother.
Sure.
I don't know when, what time, what dates.
Okay.
And all that. When I said that no, it wasn't not in October, I was pretty nervous, you know.
How about the time you dropped Lauren off that night? The last time you see her.
Right. Was I in Atlanta?
Did you go to Atlanta?
No.
How about the next morning?
Mm.
So that, for that time reference, you got a good kind of a point, because that's the day you dropped her off the mall where she's walking off with all her luggage, or she's there and you drive off, she's there. So you can use that as a reference. That day, did you go to Atlanta that night?
No.
The next day that you dropped Lauren off at that mall in Chattanooga, did you go to Atlanta?
No.
Okay. And obviously, I know you still, you know, when he took your phone and did a search warrant on it, and I don't know how, you know, what y'all talked about the search warrant stuff. Well, he went ahead and did a search warrant on your phone records and stuff like that. And you're probably way up, more savvy when it comes to phones and stuff like that. I'll let him explain his results in reference to your phone records and stuff like that, okay?
This is actually, the times are off because you have Verizon, correct?
No, I have AT&T.
AT&T, that's right. Somebody else has Verizon related to this case, and Carl has T-Mobile, I believe, doesn't he?
I don't know.
I believe so. Yeah, that's right, AT&T. These are what we get back from your phone. Okay. And the time's off because they use Greenwich Mean Time. So it's actually not, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning at the top. Okay, and that's by your house, isn't it? Hey,
I don't know how you read this.
the yellow part and the dot, that's where you're at. Okay. So you see the pin?
You got Tunnel Hill, and then you got Callaway Mill, okay? Now all of a sudden the way these phones go, this is a wedge, okay? What happens is, when you got a phone, you know, you make a phone call, obviously you got phone towers.
Right.
So the phone is going to search for the nearest tower, okay? So when you, let's say you're going to call Detective Boyd, and you call from this precinct, the closest tower to this precinct, your phone is going to talk to that tower saying, I want to call Detective Boyd, sends a message to the phone, go ahead and call Detective Boyd, and that's how you're able to communicate with him. So with phone records, we're able to see where you're calling from, what time you're calling from, and then when you get phone records, the length of time or text and all that stuff. So the yellow shaded area is the tower that supplies, you know, like if you're over here, the other side is like 3 wedges, okay? And the other side is going to go ahead and cover if you're here. But here is saying you were in this wedge for the phone tower.
Okay.
So that's where you're at when you're making a phone call on that particular day on October 8th, okay? That was your phone number, is that correct?
Yes.
423-991-2260. All right. So based on your phone records from your phone provider is saying this is where the phone was at when it was pinging. When it's kind of talking to the tower, sort of like your computer and the phone and the router, stuff like that.
Okay.
So go ahead.
And this is when Carl calls you. That's actually at 11:03 p.m. on October 7th, the night you drop Lauren off.
Okay.
And then Carl calls you.
Okay.
And AT&T provides us with all this. I have a whole stack of them, but you know, I just want to go through a few of them with you. And then this one, you're kind of back and forth during the call. If you're hitting off multiple towers, it'll show two different areas.
Okay.
So you're actually, you know, the Tunnel Hill area and then kind of in the Ringgold area. And going through the phone records, you know, we can figure out, you know, where you're going north or south.
Okay.
Okay. But as we go through all this, you can see right here, see you're traveling southbound on 75 right there. And that's at like I said, that's Greenwich Mean Time. That's not Eastern Standard Time. So it's not 4:08 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. And these are the concerns I have, because still, you begin this call up here in Whitfield County, and you're southbound on 75 in the Gordon County. Okay. And those are, I believe, calls with your wife. I don't have the. I've got stacks and stacks of these. And then, this one's at order. This is at 317. You're still in Tunnel Hill. Back with all these. Put that in there. And then, this one right here, it's actually the last call that you make to your wife. You've actually gotten off 75 and you're on 285 in Atlanta, actually headed into Gwinnett County. Okay? And I can sit here and I can go through all this with you for hours.
Okay.
And, I mean, you're a smart guy. You know, we don't have to go through all of this. But, you know, you said you're not in Atlanta, and you're talking to your wife. Obviously, you're in Atlanta. Okay?
I didn't talk to my wife in Atlanta.
No. Your wife's at home, and she's calling you. These are straight from AT&T. This has nothing to do with the Gwinnett County Police Department. They just send it to us.
Okay.
Okay? And this is, you know, we're provided all this stuff.
Okay.
All right, so you're in Atlanta, and you're back and forth talking to your wife on the phone.
Phone record, I was not in Atlanta.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you if somebody was using your phone, because your phone is pinging off towers in Atlanta that day and that night. So that's why I'm at. That's what I was saying. If your phone is with you, I'm assuming then you came down here for a reason, whether it be a visit, and that's what I'm trying to clarify. Because when we say, Charmaine, were you in Atlanta? No, sir. The day that you dropped Lauren off? No, sir. The day after you dropped Lauren off? No, sir. And then your phone company provides that they're void, and your phone company is saying, hey, yeah, that phone is in Atlanta. So there's lies of discrepancy. I'm like, was there a reason Charmaine is not being honest? Is there something else going on? And I was, to be honest with you, I was thinking, is there another young lady he was seeing and he didn't want his wife to find? I don't know what's going on. So obviously the phone records contradict what you told Detective Boyd initially. So I said, call him back in. Let's see what's going on. Let's figure it out, because these phone records are straight from the phone company saying that phone, your phone, definitely 100% is in Atlanta. So I said, well, there's a problem there.
How is it a definite? Is it a definite 100%?
Yes, sir. Yeah. My phone cannot ping off a tower in, let's say, right now, if I'm here, my phone cannot ping off a tower on 285. If I pick up this phone and call my girlfriend and go, hey, sweetie, what's going on? It's going to ping off the tower that supplies at this area near this police department. It will not ping over there. It can't. It just can't. The phone is not going to reach that far. It has to go to the closest tower, closest repeater, to go ahead and repeat and send that message to who I'm calling. So that's the issue. Your phone company, your provider, provides that to him and says, no, that phone is in Atlanta at that time on that day, 100%. So that's what I'm saying. Well, either he let somebody borrow his phone and somebody has his phone. Mm-hmm. Either he was in Atlanta for something else and he just doesn't want us to know about that. The problem is, here we got you in Atlanta, and you seem like you're being straight with me, but when we get something like that, we have to go ahead and go back and follow up. What's going on here? Is there something else Charmaine is hiding that has nothing to do with this, but he just rather not know, makes you look a little hinky? Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right, so now I got you in Atlanta, your phone. You say nobody's borrowing your phone, so I'm assuming you're attached to your phone. So I said, well, Charmaine must be in Atlanta. Maybe he's confused. Go talk to him again. We got to clear this up. We got to figure out, was he in Atlanta the day of or is there something else? Is the story somewhat different? That's why when I talked to you before, and I think, if my memory serves correctly, is if you recall, I had asked you, I know Lauren did some drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes we ask people stuff, people don't tell us the truth, or people lie, or people minimize or whatever because of several reasons. Sometimes it's always something very small, but sometimes in people's mind it's big.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know Lauren did drugs, and I asked you, could Lauren have done drugs? Something happened to her, She died, she passed away or something. We don't know what to do here. We got to take her away from me. I don't know. And I think I asked you, could Lauren have died? You didn't kill her. I got to get rid of her because obviously the first person they're going to come to is me. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Right now, your phone company is saying your phone 100% is in Atlanta, and if nobody's borrowing your phone and for the night or for the day, I'm assuming you're with your phone, so that puts you also in Atlanta. So that's why I say we got to reach out to Charmaine and find out what's going on. Charmaine should be able to explain this, and that's why I want you to think hard, and I'm giving you these scenarios not to put words in your mouth, Charmaine, because sometimes people get nervous, people get scared. Unfortunately, I am the police, but people sometimes just for whatever reason say, I didn't mean to lie, I didn't mean not to tell you the complete truth. This is what really happened, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because right now I have your phone in Atlanta that day, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know the cases what he do. That day that AT&T is putting him in Atlanta, what day is that? Is that the day that he dropped her off?
Hey.
Yes.
Okay.
The day,
Hey.
about midnight.
I'll come get you. Hold on. You hear me? Okay, I'll call you in a moment. All right. Small life.
Okay. I just want to be clear. That day that the phone company's providing that his phone is in Atlanta, is that the same day that he dropped her off at the mall?
It's 12:06 a.m. on the next day, probably about 12 hours after you dropped her off.
So we're looking at about 12 hours when you dropped her off at the mall. So if you say you dropped her off at the mall at 2 or 3 o'clock, the day that she dropped her off, that she walked off that night, so now you go from 2 or 3 o'clock, and you fast forward till past midnight that day, so early the next day, your phone is in Atlanta, okay? So that's a discrepancy that in order for Detective Boyd to move on, we're going to have to go ahead and explore that. Why is this phone in Atlanta? So the only person who would have that information would be you, because it's your phone, you're with your phone, you would be the only reason to know why would you be in Atlanta. So that's where we're at. Now, is Charmaine he straight out lied to Detective Boyd the first time he was asked? Is there something else there? Did something else happen with Lauren that you'd rather keep to yourself the first time, but now, so I'm trying to figure out what's what. So that's why we're here again. I mean, that's a biggie, Charmaine. I'll be honest with you, that's a biggie that makes it puts you in a negative light, because AT&T, who don't know you, don't know me, we just request, give me the phone record for this, from this day to this day, send it off, they send it, just like, if you get your own phone records, so you got everybody you called, this is it. And I'm like, well, there's a problem here. Charmaine, I specifically asked him, he said he wasn't here. So that's the issue we're running into. So hopefully, maybe if you can take your time and maybe think about it for that day, did she ask you,
I didn't see her no more.
Okay. And I just want to be,
you gotta, I guess you gotta have, did research or whatever to know that I didn't see her no more.
Okay. Well, obviously, whether you saw her or you didn't, I'm just going by the phone record. I said, well, the only way we can track Charmaine's movement is more likely by his phone. Because he's telling me he didn't see her. He told me he dropped her off at the mall. He didn't see her again. She didn't call him the rest of the night. He didn't recall talking to her the next day. Well, obviously, that following day, she was found deceased in Gwinnett County. So I'm thinking, okay, could it be that Charmaine maybe, this is just me talking, I'm not, could it be that Charmaine took her down to Atlanta? She goes, hooks up with somebody else, something happens, she gets killed, Charmaine don't want to put himself in Atlanta because it's going to look hinky to him. You see what I'm saying? And he just didn't want to put himself in Atlanta, and that's why he lied. It could be something just that simple, that he dropped her off in Atlanta instead of the mall, and then I don't know what she got into after I left her there, and then we find her dead the next day. Could that be it? Could it be she was doing drugs? She took an overdose. Something happened. Charmaine's like, what the hell am I going to do now with this dead female? They're going to think, maybe it's me. I got to get rid of this. We've had that. Unfortunately, that happens a lot. I don't know why, but people panic when there's a dead body around. They want to distance themselves from it. You know, it's happened to a lot of people, probably a whole lot smarter than me and you. And they lie, and then maybe they come back and say, okay, this is what happened. And it could have been all rectified if they would have just been straight the first time. So I don't know what Lauren was into, what scenario happened. The issue is, we have you in Atlanta, your phone is there 100%, so I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm just trying to toss scenarios in here to try to figure out what's what, to let you know that these things can be explained away and figure out what happened, okay? But when you tell Detective Boyd it's not clicking with what your provider's sending us, there's a problem there. So I'm trying to get over that hurdle. So can you explain to me how your phone is pinging off a tower on 285 in Atlanta, Georgia, on the day that you dropped her off at the mall that night? So take your time. Did Lauren ask you to take her down there and you dropped her off somewhere else?
I dropped Lauren off at East Cape Mall.
Okay. All right. But and I want you to try to understand, because I want to be as transparent as I can with you, okay? I'm not going to, put yourself in my shoes. You see what I'm saying? If I'm sitting in your chair, you're sitting over here, you're going to be like, Sergeant Lorenzo, you are in Atlanta. Okay, and I said, no, Charmaine, I'm not. Sir, yes, you are. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. So
yeah, I see what y'all saying.
Try to help me understand, or what plausible reason your phone will be in Atlanta. Because obviously, we just established that you don't let nobody borrow your phone, which most people don't.
It's been a few minutes, and Charmaine has yet to be able to come up with an explanation as to why his phone would be in Atlanta. But after the commercial break, Charmaine is going to come up with a genius excuse, one that any of us would have thought of.
Other than a phone call, hey, how you doing? And you get the phone back. Most people don't give their phone away for a day or two.
Yeah, because the only other thing I know is she used my phone as a hotspot. Could that have triggered something? I don't know.
She used it as a hotspot when you were near the mall in Chattanooga? Mm-hmm. It wouldn't ping off the tower in 285 in Atlanta. I mean, I know what you're saying, and you're trying to search your brain here, but no, it wouldn't trigger off that tower.
What time does it say that I'm in Ohio?
This right here is 12:06 a.m., 5 hours off, because it's Greenwich Mean Time.
12:06.
So that
12:06 a.m.
Let's say you say about 2 or 3, you drop Lauren off at the mall. So obviously fast forward, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At 12:06, 6 minutes past midnight, that evening, early, 6 minutes into the next day, that's when it's saying your phone is pinging off the Atlanta tower.
Okay, so I just want you to think about this, right?
Go ahead, sir.
Because it's no way. I don't know. It's no way.
Okay.
So after long periods of time of trying to think about why his phone might be in Atlanta, he remembers there's something else that happened that night. Here is where Carl Wyatt is introduced into the story.
Carl calls me at 11:15, 11:20, somewhere around there.
So 11:15, 11:20, that would be probably 30, 40 minutes before AT&T say your phone's in Atlanta.
Right.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
So I get dressed and I leave. How am I in Atlanta at?
And I guess that's why we're here. I understand what you're saying.
It's not.
What you're not understanding, Charmaine, is Carl calls you, his number, he's the 303. Okay, and that's actually 1103. This is when he calls you. That's his number. He calls you, you don't answer. Okay, then this one right here at 317 is when you call him. It's a 30-second call. Okay, and the problem is I have your phone records and I have Carl's. Okay, and you say you two are together, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not putting words in your mouth. Are you two together?
Mm-hmm.
The whole night?
Till we got home. We was home. Well, yeah, the whole night.
But you stay in Tunnel Hill, and Carl comes to you. Because I have Carl's records.
I stay in Tunnel Hill.
Why? I'm telling you, I don't understand why you're asking. You're in Tunnel Hill. I showed you. This is Carl's first call right here. This is that's the 317 call when you call him back. You're in Tunnel Hill. This is when he first calls you at 3:03, which is actually 11:03. He actually clocked out of work at 11:03. He immediately called you. Okay? And you're in Tunnel Hill. Okay? You didn't answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he first called you, you didn't answer?
Right. I was
Okay.
asleep.
And then at 3:17, you call him, you're still in Tunnel Hill.
Right.
Okay. 3:26. Okay.
What's 3:26?
3:26 is... That's Carl. Okay, and see, by the time it gives Carl enough, because I've Googled how long it takes to get from one point to another, it actually gives Carl enough time to get here. And then where do you think Carl's phone is? You guys are together, right?
Right.
Okay. And he actually has a lot more, he likes to text, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I actually have a lot more stuff for Carl. Okay? So, I mean, you're not in Chattanooga. Your phone records don't show you're in Chattanooga. You're in Chattanooga in the afternoon, yes. At night, once you go to bed, you're absolutely not in Chattanooga. Your phone's not in Chattanooga. And it doesn't go back up there. It goes southbound on 75.
It's not true.
Well, explain to me how that could happen.
I don't know. I don't know.
Did Lauren she ever ride in the back of your car or anything?
What do you mean?
How long you two dated for? Is it 6 months, a year? How long y'all date for? You and Lauren?
Yeah, about 6 months.
Okay. And I understand you dated, you went on dates, you probably went to dinner, you went to a movie, maybe you had a couple of drinks. I know y'all were intimate at a motel or maybe different places. And I'm not trying to get in your business. I'm just trying to establish some things. When you went to pick Lauren up, what were you typically driving when you went to pick her up?
My truck.
Is it the Expedition?
Mm-hmm.
Has she been in your truck in the past?
Yeah.
And I know this is hard in 6 months you dated. How many times? 5, 10, 30, 50, 100?
I don't know.
Okay. It'd be more than 10 times, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not trying to get in your business, but this is important. Have you and Lauren ever messed around in your truck? Have you had, and I'm going to be straight, have you and Lauren ever had sexual intercourse in your truck? Okay.
A couple of times.
Okay. Front seat, back, in Expedition, and I drove a Subaru, so I'm assuming you got some kind of a space in the back. Have you ever had sex back there? Okay. Once or twice, or more than once?
I'm not for sure.
Okay, but at least a few times y'all have had sexual intercourse in your Ford Expedition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And I just kind of needed to know if she has been in there. So the phone records is the main thing that's bothering me, and all I can do is go with technology. Okay. I'm not a technical savvy person. That's why I got people like maybe Detective Boyd and other people who are way smarter than me who does that. Call AT&T, provide me the phone records for this gentleman, and hopefully we can clear this up in reference to what he told me. And, usually I like it when it coincides with what the person tells me, but when it
Right.
doesn't coincide, there lies a problem. And right now we have an issue here that we got to clear up, you know, because if I present this to anybody, you know, they're going to look at me right, the man's lying to you. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I said, okay, let me go reach out back to the guy, give him an opportunity to figure something out, what's going on here, what happened here. So that's where I'm at on here. I'm kind of stuck on this. My back's against the wall on this here. I'm hoping you can help me out in reference to how could this happen? Is there an explanation? Did somebody borrow your phone? I gave you a couple of scenarios, and I give you these scenarios not to put words in your mouth, but these are scenarios from actual cases that I've worked in 20-something years. I've done this. That when I tell people, I've met with people, I'll be honest with you, Charmaine, I've met with people sometimes 5, 6 times. This. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. I'm not saying that's what's happening with you, but it's happened so many times that I said, well, it could be something else. You know, did the girl overdose? Did he just drop her off in Atlanta and he just don't want no part of this because now he's all into this? And if I put myself in Atlanta and I tell him I dropped her off in Atlanta, they're not going to believe me, you know, that type of thing. So I don't know what happened with you and Lauren, and I hate you're all wrapped up in this, I really do. But the fact of the matter is, you know, that's what's going on. Did he let somebody borrow his phone? I know you and, is it Carl? Because I don't know much about Carl, only but what Detective Boyce told me. You two good friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, okay, I'll bring this up just like I bring it to you, like I bring him. Could he be protecting Carl? Is something going on with Carl? Did Carl do something? Did he let Carl borrow the phone? And Carl was in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to come up with a reason. Your phone is in Atlanta. How can that be? So I'm trying to throw scenarios at you. Okay, could it be? Is it Carl? I mean, did you let Carl borrow the phone that day? Okay. And I'm just going to ask you, did you drive Lauren to Atlanta instead of the mall that day?
No.
Okay. 100% no?
No.
Okay. Did Carl use your phone and was in Atlanta
No.
that day? Okay. Did something happen to Lauren? Did she die of an overdose? Did you find her hurt and you drove to Atlanta, just got rid of the body, and just came back to Chattanooga?
No, the last time I seen Lauren was when I dropped off at Eastgate.
Okay. And I got to ask you direct questions so you can just answer me directly, and I can say, this is what the man said. He was crystal clear, to the point. I'm throwing a question at him. He's throwing an answer back, crystal clear, to the point. So there won't be no ambiguity. Nobody will say, well, he didn't understand what you were saying. So that's why I asked direct questions. I think you can probably appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I can say, well, you know, Charmaine was pretty clear with me. No, no, and no. So, you know, I'm just trying to figure out. Now, you know, we're still left up in the air. How did your phone get to Atlanta? Can you give me any scenario off the top of your head? How will that happen?
I don't know. The only thing I can say is when she used my phone as a hotspot. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Everything you've told Detective Boyd, I know the first time, and I know you're here the second time, everything you've told us has been 100% the honest truth, the best of your knowledge.
Best of my knowledge.
Okay. Is there anything that you've not been honest or lied about or just forgot to tell us since Detective Boyd's been talking to you about this situation with Lauren?
Not that I know.
Okay. And I asked you before, okay, and I just like to be direct. I'm too old. Did you kill Lauren?
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay. Do you have any idea who would have hurt Lauren?
I really don't.
Okay.
Lauren had she dealt with a lot of people.
I understand. Now, I know Lauren maybe talked a lot based on what you're saying. I didn't know the girl, and sometimes maybe she was huffy and puffy. Maybe she was a nice person, but sometimes she had a little hot air in her. A lot of people like that. When she told you that she was going to tell your wife and stuff, do you think she was going to make good on that threat? Why not?
Because she had said that before.
Okay. All right. What is her? Does her sister, now that you and her got a little close, what do you think she's feeling now? Do you think she believes obviously you had nothing to do with it now that, or has she called you ever? When was the last time you had contact with the sister?
She blows my phone up.
She's still blowing it up? Okay. Is she threatening you or saying any goofy stuff to you? She's still doing that? Okay. Is that something you were going to tell Detective Boyd at some point? I know you told your wife. Okay.
I called him to tell him.
Okay. When was the last time you talked to her?
Sister, I don't know, a couple months ago, I guess. I've only talked to her on the notification, and she called me and said that you had tried to contact her, is what she said. I can only go off of what I'm told, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys gonna do an investigation, so you can look at Facebook, and that's where she contacted me.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: what do you know about this case? What do you know? What happened to Lauren?
The search warrant said that she was strangled.
Okay. Well, I mean, what do you know about it? Other than that, I mean, what did you hear?
I know she was. They found the body burned.
Okay.
Now, if you saw the Montoya case, the one I put out just before this one, I mentioned how it was a pet peeve of mine to say the body and basically dehumanize the deceased rather than still referring to them by their identity, by their name. Here, Charmaine does just that. He says that he heard, quote, the body was burnt. Hopefully you can see what I mean when I say this is irritating to me. This man was intimate with this woman, and now it's not Lauren, it's just a body to him.
You don't know anything else about that?
Just as they found the body burned, it's pretty bad.
Okay. Do you know anything about burning bodies or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. They don't burn easy. Okay. You know, it's not as easy as you would think, and there's some. Unfortunately for whoever did this, there's some things left behind. Now, is there any reason that your hair or DNA is going to be at that scene in Deshaun Park?
No.
When was the last time you had, I guess, physical with Lauren? The day you picked her up from the mall? We're talking about that day, or you didn't have any kind of contact, sex that day, or do you think you did?
Now, I think that question is an IQ test. I mean, obviously, he should say, yes, oh yeah, we were messing around the whole day and the day before that and the day before that. And if you find anything on this person, it's because we were having a little fun.
No, we didn't have sex
That day.
No.
And the day before, and a couple of days before, she wasn't at, is it Rising Fawn?
Yeah, we had sex that weekend.
That weekend? Okay. But when you dropped her off, shouldn't be nothing. I mean, hopefully, unless Lauren cleaned herself up in the last few days, there won't be nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, anything found that the crime scene investigations and Detective Boyd at the scene, there shouldn't be nothing there from you at that scene. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. And I want you to be as clear as possible. Okay. So, only thing that's kind of left hanging is this phone records that's still, I don't have an explanation for. But you didn't go to Atlanta that day, correct?
Right.
Okay. You didn't drive Lauren to Atlanta, and she didn't ask you to drive her to Atlanta, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lauren didn't pass out, die of an overdose, something like that in Chattanooga, and we dropped her off in Atlanta?
No.
You didn't let Carl use your phone?
No.
Okay. So the phone was with you the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And everything you told us about, I think Carl called you about his battery or something was wrong with his car, and then y'all supposedly went to eat at a restaurant. Okay. All that was correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
At the close of the interview, Charmaine maintains that he was not in Atlanta and that he had nothing to do with Lauren Taylor's death. Detectives are now busy investigating the information that Charmaine has given them. Does his wife really know about the affairs, and should we be suspecting that Carl Wyatt had something to do with this? We will hear what they have to say when the police confront them next time on They Caught Me.